guys, it's me Tara coming to you from thecraftsurgeon.com, and thanks for joining me for another video tutorial. So today I wanted to share with you how I created this really adorable card, as you can see here. What better way to kick off the holiday season for Christmas than with a Santa and some cookies. Oh my goodness, I am really in love with this stamp set. Alright, so the first thing we're going to use on this card is the So Santa stamp set, and as you can see here, there's three really adorable images of Santa. We have one with who's baking cookies, we have one who's on a moped delivering some presents with his cool shades on, and then we have a Santa that is chillaxing on the beach. Oh my goodness. And what's really awesome about this stamp set is that there are some really fun sentiments that coordinate with each one of these images, so you can let your creativity run wild with this set. It's so adorable. You can actually find this stamp set on page 23 of our holiday catalog, as you can see here, and it comes in both clear mount and wood mount. So today we're going to be using the clear mount version. If you're going to use the clear mount version, you want to make sure that you have some sort of acrylic block to use to stamp with, okay? And that's what it looks like. Alright, so the next thing you're going to need is, of course, cardstock. So they are as follows. So you're going to need a piece of cherry cobbler. This measures at 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches. And it is scored at 5 1/2 inches. So this gives you a top folding card. It's still your standard size A2 card. Now I don't know what it is about the top folding, but lately I've been doing a lot of top folding cards versus the side folding, just changing it up a little. But that is the first piece of cardstock you're going to need. I used a piece of crumb cake that measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And then I'm using the Festive Farmhouse Designer Series paper, particularly this design, and this measures 4 inches by 1 1/4 inch. And if you're not familiar with the Festive Farmhouse Designer Series paper, here is a real quick flip through of some of the samples inside of that paper pack. Look how gorgeous these are. So festive, but it gives you kind of that country feeling. There's a lot of plaid, which really ties in with the holidays. All right. I also used a piece of vellum, and this measures the same as this one. It's 4 inches by 1 1/4 inch. And then I'm using a scrap piece of Whisper White just to stamp our little Santa on. For ink, I am using my crumb cake stamping pad along with Memento Tuxedo Black. We are going to be doing a little bit of Stampin' Blend coloring. So Memento Tuxedo Black is great for alcohol markers. It's permanent, it dries fast, and it doesn't bleed when you're coloring with those type of markers. We're also going to use our Versamark, which is a clear ink that is great for embossing, because we are going to be doing a little bit of heat embossing, my favorite technique. You're going to need some white embossing powder and, of course, your embossing buddy and your heat tool. To dress this card up, I used a little bit of our double-stitched ribbon. As you can see here, it's double-sided. You can use either side. Today we're going to use the side with the X stitches. We're going to add a little bit of sparkle to his beard and to his mustache, and just to all of these little white areas with a little bit of Wink of Stella. And then, of course, you're going to need some sort of adhesive. So I am using my Snell adhesive, glue dots, and I'm using my Stampin' Dimensionals, which they're up here on the table somewhere. I don't know where they are, but I'll find them when it's time for us to use them. And we are going to use a variety of Stampin' Blends for this card, and here they are. So we have some cherry cobbler, we have some petal pink, we have crumb cake, we have ivory, bronze, old olive, smoky slate, basic black. Did I say old olive? I'm not sure, but here they are. These are all the markers that we're using today. Alright, so we're going to start off with our stamping, and what I am going to do is we're going to use this Santa as a background. Now, one thing I love about stamping is that if you don't have designer series paper in your stash, you can always create your own background with the stamps that you own. And that's exactly what we're going to do with this cute little Santa. So I'm going to ink up my crumb cake, and I'm basically going to stamp this Santa in all kinds of directions on my cardstock. And there's going to be some that are upside down. He's going to be sideways. I'm even going to the point where I'm stamping halfway off of the cardstock. Alright, so now we're going to take our stamp and we're going to ink it up in our tuxedo black, just like this. And we're going to stamp it on our scrap piece of Whisper White. And we're going to do our coloring. Alright, so there we go. We have a cute little sparkly Santa. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to stamp our sentiment onto our piece of vellum. But before we do that, we're actually going to reinforce it onto our piece of designer series paper using some snail adhesive. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to place some snail adhesive right along the outside edges. And we're going to place that right on top. Just like that. Alright. So then we're going to take our embossing buddy. And we're going to get rid of all that static and that cling. This little guy has powder in it, so it takes away the static. So that way you don't have random powder just floating on the outside of your sentiments or your images. It doesn't go where you don't want it. So we're going to ink up our sentiment, and then we're going to make sure it's not upside down. And we're going to stamp that guy right close to, whoop, and I flipped it. Hopefully I didn't mess it up. Okay, I didn't mess it up. Just like that. Close up our inks. And then we're going to sprinkle this little guy in white powder. And tap off that excess. Alright, so then we're going to take our heat tool and we're going to heat up the sentiment, and I'll be right back. Alright, here we go. So one thing to remember when you're heat embossing on vellum, you want to make sure that you're kind of going on and off of the paper, that you're not holding the heat tool directly onto your vellum, because it'll warp. As you can see, I did kind of like warp it a little bit, but nothing a little bit of adhesive won't fix when it's time for me to attach this to the card. Alright, so now before we assemble our card, we are going to have to cut our little Santa guy out. So I'm going to use some paper snips, and I'm just going to follow the image around. Alright, so now that we have finished cutting out our little cute Santa, let's go ahead and assemble our card. So we're going to fold our card base, take our bone folder, make sure we get a good crease. And then we're going to go ahead and take our snail adhesive. And we're going to attach our sentiment piece onto our piece of crumb cake. Trying to make sure that it's even. Okay. And then we're going to take our snail adhesive once again. And we're going to apply a little bit to the sides so that way we can put our stitched ribbon around. So we're going to wrap some of this around. Oh, and this one on the side. There we go. We want it over the edge of our designer series paper. Okay. Make sure that's stuck down there really good. And then what I like to do is I like to come back behind myself and attach a few glue dots underneath the ribbon so it'll stay in place and it doesn't shift. Alright, and then we're going to take some dimensionals and we're going to attach our I was about to say snowman, but our Santa Claus onto our card base. So I'm just going to pop 3 of them in the center, and the regular size Stampin' dimensionals will do just fine. You don't need the mini ones. And then we're going to center this little guy right here on top. Like that. Alright, and then we're going to attach this onto our card base. Alright guys, and here you go. Oh, they're so stinking cute. I actually created these cards because I have a team meeting swap this month. So I hope the ladies enjoy these cards. And speaking of enjoying, I hope you guys enjoy the video today. If you saw anything that I used on these cards today that you would like to place a purchase for, I've actually included all of those links for all of the products down below in the description box, along with a link to my online store. There's also a link down there that has a coordinating blog post as well. And then after this video is over, just be on the lookout because I will have another video that uses the same step set, just a different card as well, that you can pop on over and go see. So with that, don't forget to like this video and to subscribe to my channel in order to get notified on my latest uploads. I do try to upload videos every single week. Sometimes that's hard because I do have a full-time job in life, but I do try my hardest to make sure I am giving you guys some inspiration on a weekly basis. But other than that, that's all I got for you guys. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching and happy stamping.